New Zealand's assisted dying law, the End of Life Choice Act, is reaching its third anniversary. Since the Act took effect in November 2021, terminally ill adults that meet certain criteria, have been able to request medical assistance to end their lives. By law, the Act must be reviewed by the Ministry of Health within 3 years of coming into force, and then every 5 years after that. That first review is currently underway and is due to wrap up by November. Meanwhile, the ACT Party plans to introduce a new members' bill to expand eligibility after accepting a petition at Parliament. It was presented by Jackie Foster of Social Justice Aotearoa and calls on the words "within 6 months" to be removed from the legislation. So people suffering from a degenerative disease that will ultimately end their life are also eligible for assisted dying. The petition gained 3,353 signatures. The petition was accepted by ex-health spokesperson Todd Stephenson, who said he would prepare a members' bill to amend the End of Life Choice Act to remove the 6-month limit. And he joins me now. Todd, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's good to talk to you again, Todd. Now, for one, I'm glad there is a review. It's important for evaluating how the assisted dying service is influencing the end of life. Tell me about this petition that was presented by Jackie Foster from Social Justice Aotearoa.
Yes, so as you said in your introduction, the review is independent. That's kind of being done by the Ministry of Health. That's at the three-year mark. But independently, a number of people have been raising this concern about a restriction really on the eligibility. And so Jackie Foster was one of those people, and Social Justice Aotearoa put forward that petition. And she was actually inspired by a friend of hers, Nicole Martin, who's got a genetic disease, and she's not eligible because it can't be said that she's going to die within 6 months.
Right.
But does actually want to have assisted living. And so that's why Jackie put together this petition. And really interestingly, actually, is Jackie Foster actually voted against the End of Life Choice bill at the referendum back when New Zealanders had a say, but she's completely changed her view, and she said just actually understanding what people are going through, spending time with her friend Nicole, she's now completely understands why this is important legislation to have in place, give people the option to die with dignity, but needs a little bit of a tweak.
Yeah, I read up a little bit about Jackie, and yeah, she did say she voted against it at the 2020 referendum, but changed her mind. Her friend's got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and she admitted that now that she's seen it firsthand, she sees how horrific it is. So, Todd, tell me, adding the criteria that of someone who is suffering from a degenerative disease. I mean, I'm no doctor, but I know there's dozens and dozens of degenerative diseases, from Alzheimer's to MS to cystic fibrosis to ones that only children seem to get. I mean, would this mean children will be able to get assisted dying?
No. So what the petition asks is for two distinct changes. One is removing the 6 months, so that it must be likely you're going to die within 6 months. The other is to look at adding the term degenerative illness. At the moment, you must be over 18 years of age. That's number one. And then you must have a terminal illness that's going to end your life within 6 months. And also must be kind of having unbearable suffering that can't be relieved. And then, of course, you need to be competent to make the decision. So all those other safeguards won't be removed. It's really this issue around the 6 is the one I'm focusing on. But in conjunction, we'll touch around whether terminal illness is broad enough, or do we need to put in something around degenerative diseases.
So the architects of the legislation, Todd, as you know, was your boss, ACT leader David Seymour, and Deputy Brooke Van Velden. They also attended the handover of the petition. In fact, I spoke to David in 2020 when it was passed. In fact, I think I might have been his first interview because I was doing nights. Now, David's admitted he's frustrated by the law that exists. He said it was not the law he had intended, and that some were being shortchanged by it. Do you know what he means by that?
Yeah, it really was, Leah, around the 12 months. Originally, he wouldn't have had that restriction in there, so it would have just been, a terminal illness that's likely to end your life, and it wouldn't have had a time on it. That was one of the compromises he had to negotiate to get it through Parliament. And, again, it was a conscience vote. ACT is still very proud of the legacy of actually getting ACT, approved, and then 65% of New Zealanders obviously also endorsed it, right, with the referendum. But, this issue around the 6 months was a compromise that David had to make, and he was never very happy about that.